Hey, I'm Michael J, and I am wanting to talk today about yoga studios and teachers that are thinking about actually starting a yoga studio. So I've been reading lots of online blogs, Facebook group posts, yoga teacher, yoga studio groups, and I've just been kind of watching the conversations that are going on. And as everybody knows, there's this big movement of online videos, online courses, and so there's a lot of fear around opening a brick and mortar studio or brick and mortar business in most cases too. So the question is, should I open a brick and mortar yoga studio? And the question could also be, should I continue to run a brick and mortar yoga studio if you have one? And I wholeheartedly and completely think there is a big yes to that question. But if you're going to do it, you really have to commit to it to make it happen, and you have to be really passionate about it. So here's the deal. People will continue to pay top dollar for an in-person experience at a yoga studio, a fitness business, or any other business. So the catch is that customer experience and the customer service has to be exceptional. And it doesn't happen by not putting the time or the training into people and staff and paying attention to the small details. But if you do a bang-up job, you get the right teachers in the right level at the right time, people will pay and travel a distance for that experience. So I have a few students that come to my classes, and one of them in particular used to live, Sharon, if you're watching this, hi there, but she used to live in my neighborhood where the yoga studio is and moved into Vancouver downtown, nowhere near where the yoga studio is. And she enjoys her experience so much and her community of friends within the space that she travels 20 kilometers every single Tuesday morning to have that experience. And she also gets to have lunch with all of her yoga pals afterwards. But you know, what she knows is when she comes in, she's not intimidated. She knows she's going to be greeted with a smile and a hi Sharon, asking her how she's doing, a little bit of chit chat before classes, and always leaving with goodbye, see you next week. So that's worth traveling for. So getting back to, should I open a brick and mortar studio? Let's use retail as an example. So there are so many stores, retail stores closing, small and big, due to online shopping and Amazon kind of taking over the world. So why would anybody bother to open a brick and mortar store? It's such a risk. And honestly, yeah, it is a risk. But if you're passionate about what you offer, you can offer something different, and you can offer exceptional, genuine customer service. People will travel for that. I'm going to use my friend Kathy's store in Ladner Village, British Columbia, Canada. And her store's called Muddy River Landing. And I used to live in this village. I don't live there anymore, but it's on the outskirts of Vancouver. Beautiful little heritage town, really quaint. And there are quite a few gifty stores in Ladner. And a few months into Kathy opening up Muddy River Landing, they created a simple t-shirt that said Ladner on it. It had 3 icons. It had the GPS of the location of the town. And at first, you started to see a few people walking around town proudly wearing these t-shirts, and then it kind of started spreading, and you'd see all the kids coming out of school and the teens coming out of school and walking around town, and they all started wearing these t-shirts. And anyway, so what she did was she created something unique. She saw a need in the community, or a void in the community, and she filled that. And she put them on the market, and anyway, that is now turned into a huge line for her of t-shirts, caps, mugs, sweatshirts, and she's also encroaching into other towns now. So anyway, she created a need for people that then would actually travel to get into Ladner Village, to go into her store. Once they're in the store, they're obviously going to see everything else. They come for a t-shirt, but they're probably going to buy a whole lot more. And they'll tell other people about it. So, that's an example of brick and mortar store working. Another great one, and honestly this one has just happened this week, and I've just been watching it with just such fascination of what a bang up job they've done. So there's a new store in Ladner, again Ladner Village, and it's called Boca Donuts, and they have donuts in the morning, and the afternoon and evening they have Mexican food. Interesting combination, but it seems to work. And so they started from nothing, and they started making these donuts, and they started making them, a little bit different. They tried gluten-free, I believe, they dairy-free, and so anyway, they started making these donuts, and they started having pop-up shops at a local coffee shop called Stir Coffee House. So they did these pop-up mornings of donuts, which would sell out like that. And everybody would talk about them, and then the next time they did, people would get there early, and again they'd sell out really quickly. So they knew they were onto something. Obviously I haven't talked to them, but I have been in the store, and they are really good donuts. But basically they have opened up a store this week. They posted one photograph to social media, and they sold out of 300 donuts by 10 a.m. in the morning. And every day since then, they've only made 300 donuts, and they are selling out of them, and now they're restricting people to 4 donuts. So these are $5 donuts. I walked out of there with 4 for almost $18, $17, $18. So that's not a cheap treat when you can go to the other bakery down the street and probably buy them for $1. But they've created something unique, different. People are talking about them. And they've also, what I think is genius, is they've held back by not making tons, and the buzz that has generated from that, videos of people lined up around at 7 a.m. in the morning, all for a friggin' donut. And I figured out on their first day, they probably paid half of their rent at a guess in 2 hours on their first day of opening. So again, brick and mortar. There are 1,000 places, there's tons of bakeries, but they've done an exceptional job. They've seen a void and a need in the market, and they have marketed it like crazy, and now it's got a life of its own. It's kind of gone viral around the town. So that's just one more example. I know it's not yoga or fitness business, but that's what you can do. That same thing. I did that same thing in a yoga studio, and the same thing can be duplicated in a yoga studio. It's not rocket science. You just have to get the formulas right. And I know in my 12, 13 years of owning the yoga studio, I made a ton of mistakes. But what I do know is that over the years, and especially towards the end when I was able to sell it for a profit, I got the formulas right. And so people will travel for that experience. I don't know how many times to say this. 50% of my clients when I had the yoga studio were from Tawasin. They were, so they're traveling 15, 20, 25 minutes to get to the studio's classes when there are 1, 2, 3, 4 other studios right in their neighborhood. But they know what they get when they come to our studio. They know they're going to get greeted when they come through the door. They know that they're going to know other people in the studio. They know how everything works. They know it's non-intimidating. They know that they have a variety of classes, top-notch teachers, and that the space is not going to be dusty, that the space is going to be cared for. Every single part of that experience has to be exceptional from the moment they step through the doors. Not even that, even before that. On the website, you have to have a top-notch website. Your marketing has to be top-notch too. All of those things can be done. They don't have to be done on massive budgets. If you don't have big marketing budgets, you just have to put the time into it. So I can help you with that. If you have anybody out there, if you are struggling with your yoga studio business, I can help you with all that stuff. And if you're just thinking about, I'm a yoga teacher, I've been thinking about opening a yoga studio, a brick and mortar studio, but I'm scared to take that risk, I'm telling you, it is worthwhile if you're willing to make it the best experience possible. And that is putting great systems in place, and number one is having the best teachers around. Your studio is only as good as your teachers, and over the years I learned how to teach, how to hire the right teachers, how to have a system in place that everybody, the instructors, knew how to follow, that was simple, and where everything was clear and up front and there was no surprises. And so you're able to create a most beautiful team. And when you have a most beautiful, amazing team, then your students have beautiful, amazing experiences. So yes, brick and mortar can work. It's a long-winded story to say that, but if you're thinking about taking that risk, I would love to talk to you, and more importantly, I would love to help you. I really feel like everything I've gone through in my marketing life and in running the yoga studio for all those years, I really feel that I can help yoga businesses thrive, survive, and just be amazing places for people to get back to themselves. So anyway, Michael J, if you have any questions, there's more of me on my website, Michael J, MichaelJay online.com, or following me on Instagram, Facebook, Michael J CA. Cheers.